Let's go watch it in 2D. No, let's go watch it in 3D. But if we watch it in 3D, then is it worth the cost?
It should be nothing but smooth sailing from...
Hello? I'm anxiety. Where can I put my stuff?
A new emotion.
Oh, I'm sorry. We wanted to make such a good first impression.
What do you mean we?
I'm Envy.
Look at your hair. Oh yeah, not happening.
That's on we.
On what?
It's what you would call the boredom.
What's your name, big fella?
That's embarrassment.
Welcome to headquarters embarrassment. Oh, we're doing a fit. No. Oh, nope. Going high. Oh, you got a real sweaty palm there, buddy.
Look, we all have a job to do. I plan for the future.
You want to sit with us?
These girls are so cool. We can't let her know we're excited.
I got this.
Joy, I'm just curious. Maybe, I could
Thank you.
help.
Not now.
Yeah.
That's not going to haunt us for the rest of our lives at all.
Hello. This is Adolf, and today I'm by myself, and I'm reviewing Inside Out 2. As always, I'll talk about the 3D element first. I was pleasantly surprised on how much the 3D is a good aspect of this movie. The movie actually is really pretty in 3D, and there's many times where you have nice depth and a couple pop-outs. And just generally speaking, it looks very nice in 3D. I was very happy with this. You get just good separation of the characters, and you have a lot of different scenes that really play it up in some ways. That being said, I do feel like they could play it up even further, but are holding back. Like some camera angles could be a little bit changed, and it'll be phenomenal in 3D. But they decide, it feels like Disney, Pixar decided to not have a heavy hand in this with the 3D, or they could have. I feel like they just kind of hesitated, and while I still think that 3D was very enjoyable, there's many scenes with hockey that are very nice in 3D. There's a scene with a storm that's very nice in 3D, and how depth is used to help with many scenes of height. It's very nice. I just think it could be better. Like, it's not any negative. I just feel like the potential to do more is definitely there. They just didn't try. They didn't want to turn it up all the way. So, it's still a very enjoyable 3D experience. And I think 3D movie fans will be very happy to watch this. That being said, I think most of them will be like, it could have been better. So my final verdict on the 3D aspect of this movie is a 7 out of 10. Really good. It's just, they don't push it far enough, and I think they could have easily, but they don't. It doesn't feel like they really want to. But, yeah, overall, very positive, and 3D fans will be happy they watch this in 3D. Now on to the movie itself. So Inside Out 2 is really interesting. It is one of those movies where it's taking like almost 10 years for a sequel. And I was just kind of shocked at how well executed this was. Because this is one of the rare sequels that is not only as good, if not better, than the predecessor. And it's well worth the wait. I haven't laughed this hard in a Pixar movie in years. It's just so funny. And it's so touching as well. I haven't cried this hard in a Pixar movie in years. This is going to be something that's going to be a required watch for therapists and psychologists when they go to med school, because this is just brilliantly executed, and how they creatively showcase the human mind and the emotional scope is just phenomenal. I really can't stress how creative this is and how well executed it is, and how this is top tier Pixar, top tier Disney. This is some of the best Pixar in a long time. And easily one of the best Disney movies in a long time, probably 10 plus years. The story here is it's a really simple story. It's about, if you watch the first one, you'll recognize the characters. That being said, I think they do a great job introducing the core aspects of this movie that you're fine if you never watched the first one. Obviously, you gain more if you watch the first one, but it's not absolutely necessary. I feel like this is they explain everything so well that if anything, explains it better than the first one did. So I feel like it just builds on everything from the first one and just knocks it out of the park. You follow the main character, Riley, as she is becoming a teenager and she gains new emotions and becomes a more complex character and a teenager. And you follow her as she goes on to a weekend trip, a hockey trip with her friends. And you see her deal with these new emotions, and the new emotions deal with the old emotions, and the conflict of how you grow up as someone that is in puberty. I was pleasantly surprised they mentioned it. Now, they have not directly mentioned the other P word, but they do kind of hint that this is the ball rolling. And it's one of those things where it's brilliant. And I don't think it's going to get censored in any country. And I think how they're able to combine the new emotions with the old emotions and then know when to set things aside and when to actually focus on certain emotions is just masterful. This is one of the most relatable movies of all time. I was shocked how much I related to this movie. And I'm not a 13-year-old girl. I'm a 40-year-old man. I don't have a daughter. I don't have a teenager. And yet, it is so relatable. They were able just to go in and get a story that's simple. It's not the end of the world. It's not overly complex. It's just dealing with the emotions when you're a teenager and how hard that is and how raw it is. And it's just so well done. I don't have any flaws I want to point out. It's hard to me to talk about this movie because I don't want to spoil anything. This is a masterpiece. And in the credits I saw that they gave thanks to multiple doctors, and it really feels like this was written and conceived in a way that multiple high-level psychologists and therapists put their input, because this is some deep, deep filmmaking. And it is just somehow connects to the human experience at a molecular level. This is a pure movie magic. And I say that because this movie is able to have the complex things of human emotion, and you're able to make a story that's hilarious and relatable and touching, and it just works. And this is a perfect thing that is great for animation, because I can't imagine how they could do this movie in live action. They used animation to really have a bigger scope and to illustrate their ideas and this creative thinking that it's so easy to understand, but it's so profound that it's just mind-boggling that they're able to convey these deep emotions and thoughts in a manner that is entertaining, that is touching, and that's beautiful. The animation here is absolutely gorgeous. How they're able to play with animation is so clever and fun. This is so well worthwhile. I truly love the writing and how clever things are. I kind of walked into this movie with low expectations. The trailers didn't do any justice, and this blew my highest expectations. This was beyond what I could imagine a sequel to be. Not only is this a better movie, this is a smarter movie, more impactful movie, and it is perfection in cinema. This is a must-watch, and bring your tissues. If you don't cry in this movie, I am envious of you, and a little bit angry that you got to live such a privileged, wonderful life that you don't struggle with your mental health. Because I feel like everyone struggles to a degree. It's just not everyone wants to show it. And I feel like this movie is something that everyone can really connect with. And this is supremely amazing. And I am lost for more words. Watch this movie. It flows perfectly. It's hilarious. It's touching. Bring some tissues. And bring your mind, because this is going to blow it. And you may not be emotionally ready for this journey. And I say that with the highest of possible praise. I can't give this a score that's any lower than perfection itself. This is a 10 out of 10 and editor's choice. This is easily going to be the top movies of 2024 for me. This is phenomenal and just amazing achievement. I am blown away. Disney, this is one of the best movies you've ever done. Inside Out 2 is absolutely fantastic. I imagine that this is going to be hard for adults than some kids, and there's just different scenes where if you're struggling, it's going to hit you hard. And even if you're not struggling or you struggled in the past, it's going to hit you hard. And it's going to hit you hard in the smartest possible way. One moment you'll cry like a baby, and one moment you'll laugh hard. This is perfection in cinema. Movie making magic. Absolutely, without a doubt, you need to watch this movie. That's it for my review. I can't say anything else without spoiling it. Wonderful. Beautiful. It's excellent. Phenomenal. Inside Out 2 is the complete package and exceeded my expectations. This is perfection. That's it for me. Bye. Before this podcast wraps up, I want to thank MK Ultra, Gravity Head Zero, Travante Classics, and Axe Folk for being my super VIP patrons on Patreon. You can find 3D or 2D on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Pinterest, Instagram, and more. Just look for 3D or 2D. Links are in the info box. If you want to send us listener mail, our email address is email3dortwood@gmail.com. Thank you for either listening or watching this podcast. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.